Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video, and it seems like everybody missed this key detail right now in Terra Luna Classic and why exactly it's rising. People are just seeing 30% gains, so be sure to smash that like button, which is absolutely insane for the crypto markets. But there's actually something that nobody watched, and this was released about a year ago and reminded me of now. Nobody saw this interview before, and it's an interview with the Quad explaining the algorithm, explaining exactly what happened, and the same applies for Terra Luna Classic before it crashed. This is why a lot of people are actually investing in Terra Luna Classic. If you're new to Terra Luna Classic, the biggest importance here is Terra Luna Classic is still around, but with a different team. So there's two tokens. There's Terra Luna and there's Terra Luna Classic. And the Quan explains this very briefly because while the original team basically indirectly it did crash the token and they gave up on Terra Luna Classic, they focused on a new project, Terra Luna, with a new CEO, with a new member, with new everything, basically almost a new team with some old developers. And the second thing is the Terra Luna Classic team has an entirely new team and it has the community proposals. This is why Terra Luna Classic has more people than, active than Terra Luna. Why? Because the community wants to decide how to treat the project right, and it's like a social experiment, really. Imagine giving, community $10 million of community fund, or $1 million basically, and them deciding what to do with it. But the Quan actually did go on air a year ago, and this was posted by Coinage, so full credit to them. I'm just gonna post a snippet of the video here, because I feel like it's pretty important to go into...
It turned out to be, pretty high.
At what point, maybe on the run-up, when you saw Anchor eventually capture almost $17 billion, in that journey, was there a point where you said, we're untouchable?
I felt like every day UST was getting stronger than the previous day.
There's also another operation going on behind the scenes, though, at the same time. That did seem, I guess, different from what the original promise of UST and Luna always was, which was it was an algorithmic stablecoin that functioned perfectly without the need for a reserve.
So we felt that by adding multiple different types of collateral, starting with Bitcoin, UST had a real chance to become the decentralized money for all of crypto.
But I'm curious where that kind of plan came from and what made you want to introduce that at that time.
So we started to do that with Bitcoin because we believe that it's the most resilient, the least biased digital currency on the planet. If we were optimizing for economic stability, we probably would have built up a reserve in stablecoins, other stablecoins. I think on some other level, I believe too strongly in Bitcoin. I honestly didn't think it would fall this much. And I know that, from time to time in its history, Bitcoin has gone down 80% every now and then. But my thinking back then was the amount of economic output that's been built in crypto, the amount of people that have come in and started to build in this industry is unparalleled compared to all the other points in time. I felt like it was starting to display resilience as a decentralized, pristine type of commodity.
So basically, he does say his view and what exactly he wants to happen to Terra Luna. He wants to make it truly decentralized, and that's why Terra Luna dollar is rising so much. He wants to make the dollar itself not pegged to the US dollar, not pegged to anything, just being there around, being used by the community. And if you're new to crypto, decentralization is one of the big things in crypto right now. That's what a lot of people want to focus on, and that's the importance right here. He wanted to make Terra Luna one of the decentralized places where anyone could buy the token with a complete anonymity, with community proposals. So they had great ideas behind, but in theory, it did work out. On paper, it did not, because obviously someone used this and sold the tokens, and that's a bad thing. But this means, and this is how Terra Luna Classic was actually created, and that's a pretty interesting thing. Now, the Terra Classic USD is at about 6 cents, which is not that terrible, guys. Not at all. But let's keep watching.
But I was wrong.
Let's actually walk through the timeline for what actually happened here, though. And that kind of begins over the weekend. And UST dips slightly below peg. Twitter personality Do Kwon seems very calm and collected. Do Kwon in person talking to the Terra team as this is starting to unfold. What's happening on that day?
So I was in Singapore. I wake up in the morning, and then I think the curve pool was imbalanced because somebody had done like a very large trade. So I think the initial trade was like $84 million, and then collectively it had built up to like a few hundred million. But then like the sentiment on Twitter started to get worse, and then there started to be more people that were trading against the curve pools. So the amount of sell pressure that we were seeing, started to get worse and worse. So we started to put together a $2 billion round, like in the middle of the night, and the news leaked. Once the news leaked, we started to see massive shorts pile up against Luna. So the value of the tokens that we were ready to sell just basically got decimated.
When the deal didn't come through, what was the situation in the war room at that point?
When I was trying to do the round, it wasn't so much that I thought like the peg would be irrecoverable. So like you gotta understand, like I've been through multiple of these crises before, and then the peg always recovered.
At what point did the discussions in the war room shift from, all right, look,
So here the Kwon mostly explains how Terra Luna Classic went down, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. While the crypto did crash at that time, it did teach us a valuable lesson that there's always bugs. So someone made an $84 million trade, and that's how Terra Luna Classic was born. But we do have a lot to talk about because the crypto markets are going to be going up in the following days, and I'm going to keep you guys updated. If you want to be kept up to date with my crypto journey, smash that like button.